Hello and welcome to the office at Colleen Findlay Place. In actuality, this is one of a couple little nooks that we've got available to us here at Colleen Findlay Place. I'm excited on behalf of Ken McDonald, who predicted that I would have this in the background of a video sooner rather than later. You are a prophet, Ken. Here we are. Today I'm bringing you a bit of a rundown of the service options available for you coming in September, the different weekend service opportunities that you have. And then I want to elaborate on our philosophy as to why we're taking some of the COVID measures that we're taking. I'm going to tell you definitively what we're going to do and why we're going to do it. So first off, let me put this invite out to you. Many of you are aware of and have been a part of our thriving Saturday Night Life ministries. Every Saturday night at 7 o'clock, we had been meeting and now we've been doing it online. We are getting back on September 12th, 7 o'clock here at Colleen Findlay Place. We are relaunching Saturday Night Life in real life. And so for those of you who understand how it works, most of our occupancy, we're still going to limit it to 40. Most of that number will be made up of the men from Hillen House. We're so excited to be able to interact and connect with them again. So between the men of Hillen House and our leadership team for SNL, we have set aside another 10 spots that you can pre-register for, and you can be a part of that Saturday Night Life experience. We welcome you to either check it out or make that a part of your weekend routine to minister in this way and in this area. It is your life will be changed. I don't want to be hyperbolic, but it is a pretty incredible ministry, a pretty incredible opportunity to connect and see God move. So I would encourage you to consider Saturday nights, 7 o'clock. You'll need to pre-register. We'll talk about that process in just a moment. On Sundays, we have received from you our church survey, and we've looked through the results, the numbers, the interest, and the concerns. And we believe that we need to make space for a minimum of 2 services on Sunday mornings. And we're going to start this way. We'll see if we need to move times around, if we need to add services or condense into one service. We'll also be paying attention to what we're allowed to do as far as the numbers for our gathering. But for now, our plan is as follows. We're going to have a 9 o'clock service here at Colleen Findlay Place and an 11 o'clock service here at Colleen Findlay Place. Now, in all cases, Saturday night and Sunday, there is a very specific protocol and process for entering, being in the building, and exiting the building. And we've had our summer interns, Josh and Miley, put together a little video. You may have already seen it. It's going to be released at a similar time and location as this video. But if you haven't, you can look for that video that will show you the process of what we're going to ask you to do while you're in the building and while you're here. Now, one of the things you're going to need to get used to is that every week we're going to ask you to pre-register for a service. But don't get put off by that. We do not want that to become a barrier, so we've made it as simple as possible. I made this comment about the church survey that you could literally hold your breath for the entire time that it takes you to click through the 5 questions. In the same way, it will be so quick for you to register, for you and everybody in your household to come to the service and pre-register for that for the Saturday night or the Sunday morning options. So you're going to need to pre-register, and as you'll see in the other video, you'll check in and we'll just confirm your registration as you come in the building. So that's the first thing. The next thing that we are mandating and we are going to do as a church is we're going to wear masks while we're in the building. Now that's the way we're going to start things in September. And I am very well aware that other churches are doing different things. Northridge is going to be a mask-wearing church for the near future. Now, as we pray, as we take in information, we might loosen up on those protocols, But until you hear from us, we are going to be a mask-wearing church. The other things that we're going to do to be cautious as we meet as the church is our music worship and our message are going to be pre-recorded. So whether you go to the 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or if you watch online at 10 o'clock, you're going to receive the same music worship. You're going to receive the same message. And I know that this is something that might be a stumbling block for some people. And this is where I feel like I, as your pastor, need to give you a little bit of rationale and reasoning. If we were disciples of Dr. Bonnie Henry, we would all stay home. There would be no in real life church. We would not be meeting in our pockets of 40. Her suggestion is just stay home, stay safe. And it's good advice. If we are 100% committed to staying away, preserving our bubbles, staying away from interactions with other people, that's what we would do. We as a church see a couple of things. We see a biblical mandate to not get out of the habit of meeting as the church. There's this biblical mandate where we're called to be together. And there's this spiritual drawing. I don't know about for you, but for me, the big one is to worship together. I have this need to worship with other people. It's not the same for me to be at home, sitting in front of my computer, worshiping in isolation. And so we've tried to find a middle ground where we are considerate of the recommendations from the experts, but at the same time we are considerate and following God's call to us to meet together as the church. Now, some of you might bristle and say, wearing masks is only something we do out of fear, or we've got to be able to worship together with live musicians. Okay, what you'll find is that's not in the Bible. We are not called to have live worship. We are called to worship together. And while the experience is less than ideal, I'm going to be honest with you. I want for our worship leaders, I want for our worshipers to be able to experience worship in the moment. I believe there's something better about that than worshiping along with recorded music. But this is the next best step. And believe me, there's going to be something beautiful and better about worshiping with others than there is about being alone. And so, hear me for what it is. This is the way it's going to be. And if you have questions, if you have concerns, connect with me directly. David at NR Church, or you can call the church phone. It's right there. I'll hear from you. 604-380-3687. And we'll talk it out. And I'll explain maybe a little bit more deeply some of the rationale that went behind the decision. But this is what we're going to do. And I'm calling to you, Northridge Church, to buy in. I want you to come in real life, worship with us. But we are also going to continue to provide a thorough, actually a more complete home online experience. Alex Brown is recording today the music worship for September 6th. And we're going to be able to start worshiping with our Northridge people, knowing that around us, whether it be together at that moment or at different times, we're going to be worshiping together, singing the same songs, worshiping the same God, and we are going to beef up our online presence and experience. But I can't encourage you enough to alter your habits. It's time to kind of come out from under our rocks and move beyond the experience of watching church, or maybe even just bits of church online. If you need to be home, the next best step is to bubble up with another family, with another person, and start to expand your community. Even if it's the most conservative of expansions, even if you're one person, you invite another person and you make it a date to do church together. That is a beautiful and big and important next step. Don't do this alone. You're not meant to walk this journey alone. you are not meant to be the church in isolation. If that's where you're at today, if you're still struggling, maybe you're somebody who's more at risk than others, then God bless you. Do what you got to do. But if you're able to just expand your bubble a little bit and bring in another family, maybe a couple of families, maybe your small group can start meeting at 10 o'clock online. I can't encourage you enough to do that. So that's my message. I went a little longer than I had planned to. I'm passionate about this next step of meeting together as a church. I again want to encourage you to break out, kind of peel yourself off the couch, break out of that really comfortable space you've been in isolation, and stretch yourself just this little bit to reform the routine of meeting as the church. It's important. It's good for you. It's good for us as a church. Iron sharpening iron, meeting together, that fellowship, that community, it's necessary. And again, as your pastor, I'm calling you out of your comfort zone to look into this new opportunity to be in community. All right, that's it for now. I can't tell you enough how excited I am for September 6th. And then beyond that, September 12th, 13th, when we get to start meeting in real life. Until then, pray about your next steps. Mums and dads, if you've got leadership over your family group, pray about these next steps. Another bit of information that's going to be coming out to you soon is what we're going to be doing to complement the Sunday weekend experience for families. And it's great. We had a meeting this morning, and I'm really pumped about it. And that's going to come out a little bit later. But for now, be blessed. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you in real life. Take care. Goodbye.